Honestly, I hate smartwatches or any watches in general. I currently own an iPhone and I have no intention of buying an Apple Watch or any of those devices. I honestly think that smartwatches are overall uncomfortable, they're expensive devices, doesn't really help with productivity, and overall unnecessary for day-to-day life. But can the KOSPET Tank M3 Ultra change my mind? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Now, full disclaimer is that KOSPET did send me this smartwatch for me to review, and honestly I was hesitant to do this because I honestly hate smartwatches, but I figured to give it a try and let's see, maybe the KOSPET Tank M3 can change my mind. But before we look at the KOSPET Tank M3, here are my problems with smartwatches, and the first one being that they're super expensive for such a small device. An Apple smartwatch can range from $400 to $1,100 in Canadian, and if you ask me, that is absolutely insane, and that is super expensive in my opinion. Now, I did do some research and did some quick Amazon searches and stuff like that, and there are some smartwatches that are cheaper and then can range less than $300 and even can go as low as $100. But the problem with those smartwatches is that they're not rated for rugged use. And if you're looking at the equivalent to an Apple Watch, you're probably looking at the Apple Watch Series 10 or the Apple Watch Ultra 2, I think that's what it is. But the problem is that the Apple Watch would cost like twice or 3 times as much as a KOSPET Tank M3. The KOSPET Tank M3 costs $215, which I think in my opinion is a sweet spot considering that this is for rugged use and it's not going to just break easily on you. But do smartwatches actually help with productivity? So I did a couple of Google searches and here's what I found, that why smartwatches can boost productivity. Smartwatches are typically built with timers, calculators, stopwatches, alarms, etc. Your notifications can show up on your smartwatch. I can definitely see it can boost productivity by not having to reach your phone as much, because you can see your notification right away from your watch. And the KOSPET Tank M3 does all that. It has notifications, it has alarms, timers, it can even manage your stress levels so that you can easily see if you're feeling stressed or may not be noticed that you're feeling stressed, and you can easily manage your stress by going off of your tasks and that recharge so that you can go back to your tasks and be more fully efficient. But in my opinion, when I was wearing the KOSPET Tank M3, I'm just a little bit more distracted than usual because I'm usually looking at the notifications instead of focusing on the task that is in front of me. And another problem with smartwatches for me is that for me personally, they're very uncomfortable to use. I'm typing a lot. I just don't like that there is this bulky device on my wrist while I'm typing, and overall I just don't feel it's very comfortable. But the KOSPET Tank M3's band is actually pretty good and it is very soft. It's nice on my skin. It's just that the bulkiness is still there, and personally I don't like that. Now, are smartwatches actually all bad? Now, I don't think so, because there's some people who are found great use for smartwatches. There's probably only one reason why I would ever buy a smartwatch, and it's probably for fitness or health reasons. But as I've mentioned earlier already, the KOSPET Tank M3 can measure and it can track your stress level, and I think that is a great idea so that you can easily manage your stress, because sometimes you don't notice it that if you're stressed or not. But the KOSPET Tank M3 also can track your steps. It can help you notify you if you're sitting for too long and maybe you need to stand or walk or something. It can track your heart rate. It can give you an estimate on how much calories you burned so far. It has 170 sport modes which can help you be more active and can promote healthy living. It can also track your sleep and your emotion, as well as it comes with breathing exercises that is included in the watch, which I think is pretty good. But my favorite feature is that this is going to remind you to stand up and be more active, and it reminds me that I've been sitting for too long and that I need to move my body around. I can definitely see smartwatches help people, including myself, to promote healthy living and to be more active in my day-to-day basis. After trying out the KOSPET Tank M3, I was definitely noticing that I was sitting more and I need to move more and I need to prioritize my health. But is that enough to change my mind when it comes to smartwatches? But what do I really think about smartwatches after trying out the KOSPET Tank M3? I think smartwatches are useful in many ways, and after trying out the KOSPET Tank M3, I was very impressed at what this device can do. Well, first, its ruggedness. I was really impressed by the ruggedness of this watch. There are a couple of times where I hit this a couple of times to the handrails or the side of the table, and I didn't see any scratches. It wasn't, damaged at all. There's not even any scuff on the side. I'm not even afraid for this watch to get wet, and I'm not worried about it getting wet because it has the 5 ATM IP69K rating in it, so if I'm washing my hands or anything like that, I don't have to worry about it getting wet. Second, its functionality. I think the KOSPET Tank M3 actually performs very well. It's very responsive. I didn't see any lag at all when scrolling through the apps, and overall the device is super easy to use and anybody can use this. And thirdly, this device helped me to be more active. I really like how it reminds me to stand up and walk and to move around instead of just been sitting for too long. I really like that it can track my steps, my heart rate, and it really helped me with my fitness journey. And third, the KOSPET Tank M3's battery life is absolutely amazing. Ever since opening the KOSPET Tank M3, I started with 80% and it's been like 3 weeks or almost a month already, and I'm just at 15%, which I think is absolutely amazing. And even with all these features, are they enough to convince me to wear a smartwatch all the time? And in my opinion, the only time smartwatches are worth it is for health and fitness reasons. And if that's only the case, in my opinion, then I think for me, personally, personal preference is that I would just go with a fitness band rather than a smartwatch. But overall, the KOSPET Tank M3 works absolutely amazing. I was very impressed with this device, and overall, it performs very well. And I actually do like the device. Personal preference is that I just don't like wearing smartwatches in general. But just because a smartwatch is not appealing to me, that doesn't mean that it's not appealing to you. And if this is a watch that you are interested in, then consider checking out the KOSPET Tank M3 in my link down below. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think about smartwatches and if you feel the same way about smartwatches. So that's it for today's video. If you like this, please consider pressing that like button and consider subscribing for more reviews just like this one. Thank you for watching. See you everyone, and see you in the next video.